Okay, so if your legs aren't already up the wall, just to make it a little bit easier is to have the side of your body to the wall and then do the little maneuver of moving so that they can be up. And again, you can be a little bit farther away if it's a little bit too much strain on the back. Yeah, and just have your arms out to the side and completely relaxed. So welcome everyone for our wall practice today. The start of every class, no matter what position we're at, is the loveliness of a full, complete breath in and a full-on sigh out. And as you know, throughout the class today, our wall class, lots of different variations and options. And as with every practice, if child's pose feels the right thing to do for the ease of your lower back, the rest of your legs, please do. So with your eyes softly closed, just a gentle connection of your upper and your lower eyelid, your arms by your side, and just a little check that you have the whole length of your spine and the back of your ribs settled onto your mat. Again, let's all share a complete breath in, breathing into your nose, allowing expansion through your chest. See if you can pour down to your belly, even the side of your ribs. And at the top of your inhale, a sigh upon your exhale. And nowadays, it's not as easy for a big sigh as we have a mask, but today we're free. So have a complete full exhale, releasing every last drop of your breath. And with the breath, you should breathe into every four sides of your body, every four sides of your waist. It allows the ease of the expansion. And with your arms out to the side, have your palms up. This allows a little bit more opening, very subtle opening across your chest. And then as always, the slow but sweet rhythm of your breath. And the slowness, no rush, no distractions, just you on your mat and your wall. Slow and settling in to the start of our practice. As we're all different and yet the same, our place, our body, we often have the same goal, but a different intention. It's the same start, and yet a different position. Find the position that allows the release and the opening. As we have the same mind, and yet a different dimension. A different decision, yet the same results. Just like me, but not at all. Gently place your palms onto your thighs and your hands just gently running up and down the front of your thighs. And blending together the awareness of your muscles and the simplicity of the release of the connection. You can give your legs a little massage, depending how your legs feel. And then just a very gentle movement of your toes. It's lovely, the weightlessness of the feet and the space between our toes. With your next in-breath, lift your arms up, your fingers pointing to the sky, and have that same verticalness as your arms as with your legs. And flare your fingers open so you've got that space. From here, hold on to your opposite elbow, so one forearm on top of the other. As you draw your next in-breath, take them behind your head. Just giving yourselves the opportunity of a little bit more lengthening the side of your torso. And see if you can breathe into the side of your body. On your next in-breath, bring your arms back up, releasing the elbows, arms right back up to vertical. Now as your arms are lifting, ensure that the top of your arm bone is settled into your shoulder socket. So you have that same broadness across your collarbones. Now hold on to your opposite forearm, opposite elbow. Still keeping that connection of the back of your legs to the wall. Take your arms behind your head again, allowing the lengthening of your torso, even the pit of your arms a little longer. And see if you can keep that softness through your shoulders. So ensure your shoulders aren't reaching up for your earlobes. There's more space. And only lower it down as much as you have the opening but without the strain. With your next in-breath, bring your arms back up to vertical. With your next exhale, draw your right knee into your chest. With your hands onto your knee, I want you to move your knee in circular movements. So slow movement, side to side, maybe a little forward and back. And then the straightening of your right leg and settling the back of your right leg to the wall. Change sides. So this time drawing your left knee into your chest. A little bit of support, hands onto the knee, and just a very subtle movement. Top of your thigh bone into your hip socket, but no weight. Whichever direction. And then as you're ready, straightening of your leg and settling the back of your leg to the wall as before. Hands back onto your thighs, and again, pressing your thighs towards the wall and almost walking your shoulder blades a little farther back. Draw your right knee again in towards your chest, just as we had before. Then I want you to take the sole of your right foot and place it onto your inner left calf. And then your hand moving your bent knee towards the wall. So that initial opening. Keep your extended legs foot flexed as if you're standing onto the wall or onto the ceiling. And just a very gentle, encouraging the knee to be open. Now, with this opening, really care for your thigh bone into your hip socket and all through your hips. So if there's any strain, more your arm supports or away from your body, your hip. Let's change sides. So the assistance of your hand onto your bent knee to draw it into center. And then the straightening of the leg. And draw your opposite knee in towards your chest. So as before, but different. Take your bent knee and place it onto your inner calf on the opposite side. Again, we both have hips on both sides. One might be a little bit more comfortable than the other. So again, just a very subtle of encouraging the opening without force. Or perhaps on this side, a little bit more just support of your hand to your thigh. And then the assistance with your hand to draw your knee in and lift up to the wall. So again, you got two legs up the wall, feet to the sky. From here, what I want you to do is open your legs up into a V. So your hands can be onto the back of your thighs to give that support. And as before, your hands pressing your thighs towards the wall. Still keep your feet flexed. And choosing the distance. So it's our first opening. So ensure that it's nice opening the inner seam of your thighs without feeling the strain. So with your hands on your outer thighs, I want you to bring them back up to center. You're going to go into butterfly or Buddha Konasana. So draw the soles of your feet together and sliding down to the wall. And your hands on your thighs. A little bit of encouragement towards the wall, but also the support. And either have a little peek or just the sense of the touching is that all 10 pads of your toes are connected right to left. Almost there's a mirror between the soles of your feet to have that connection. The opening, the weightlessness, and of course the support. Support as need be. Keeping the stillness of your body, and draw another full breath in, breathing to the side of your body, towards your belly, allowing the opening of the front of your body, even feeding towards the back of your body, and at the top of your in-breath, a complete sigh, and just releasing a layer of tightness. Still using your hands for the support as need be. And do this a few more times. The air as you draw in through your nose, perhaps the air is a little cooler. And on the sigh of your exhale, releasing the tension. A little bit more moisture, almost releasing, washing away. Whatever tightness, perhaps it's still hiding on your body. Support on your hands onto your knees. I want you to draw them back into center. And wrap your shins, your hands around your shins. Give yourselves a lovely hug. You can always have your hands onto the back of your thighs. If it's a little bit too much bending of the knees, or onto your shins. Just find which way makes your knees as happy as can be. From here, roll over onto your right side. And then press your left hand down to bring yourselves up. And I want you to actually take yourselves into child's pose. So your toes will be near the back of your mat. And taking of your sitting bones towards your heels, your arms forward. But I want your arms to be completely passive, and your head can rest onto your mat. Sometimes it's nice to have the fern block underneath your head. But allowing your shoulder blades to slide apart, a sense of freedom across the back of your body. Now there's no weight. With your next in-breath, see if you can direct your breath into the back of your body, breathing into the back of thy lungs, giving more space between the intercostal muscles in the back of your ribs. And enjoy the sigh upon your exhale. Sigh and settling. As you're ready, shift your weight forward to take yourselves into table pose. So table pose is kneeling and ensuring that your arms are vertical. And actually, I'll get you to just do a little adjustment. Extend your right leg behind you and have your foot right onto the wall. Mine will look a little different. I have a different wall. So still ensuring that your arms are vertical. A little bit adjustment to your kneeling left leg and have that support. So still drawing your torso in towards your thigh so you have that active energy through your core. See if your extended leg is almost pressing the wall away. And then extend your opposite arm forward. Okay, so normally there's a little bit of a wobbling. The wall is holding you in the stillness. Have your gaze down towards your mat and then maybe closing of your eyes. So there's often a little bit of a wobbling. Hopefully the stillness of the wall gives the stillness of the body. So in doing so, even though we're kneeling, your extended right leg is activated. So opposed to your knee dropping down, see if you can have the same extension and lengthening the front and the back of your lifted extended leg. Place your left hand down and lower your right knee. Now I want you to just softly sway your hips side to side. And shifting of your weight more to the right arm, the right and left hand. And then come back into center and we'll just change sides. This time extend your left leg behind you, having your foot right onto the wall. Look back actually to your foot on the wall and ensure your toes are pointed down, just to give that neutralness of your heels. Make sure your left heel is no higher, or hip. Make sure your left hip is no higher than your right. And then once your lifted extended leg, foot against the wall, leg charged up, then extend your opposite arm forward. Imagine that you can almost, with your breath, lengthen your arm forward, your leg back, slightly drawing the belly button towards your spine to make sure your core is activated. Gaze down and then see if you can close your eyes. There's a little bit more internal observation. So feel the fullness of your breath in. Now there's the tightness of the muscle, the active energy. See if you can breathe through the tightness of those muscles. And your exhale, however you choose. It can be a lovely sigh. It can just be released through your nose with a soft release through your mouth. Still keeping your body activated, strong. Horizontalness of your leg, horizontalness of your extended arm. And then when you're ready, place your hand down. Lower your knee down. And again, sway your hips side to side. And then bring yourselves back into center. You're going to warm the spine up with cat and cow. So look back to make sure that your knees are hip distance apart. Look towards your arms. If it's uncomfortable onto your wrists, you can place your hands onto your fists. So there's that freedom in the back of the wrist as well as the front. And then the easy movement of cat and cow. So your first breath is into the front of your body and just slowly lowering and lengthening the front of your body. And then on your exhale, taking your belly button towards your spine, your tailbone scoops under, your head hangs. And then on your inhale, filling the front of your body, your tailbone perhaps will float up, your chin moving forward and up, and then that rhythm of your breath, the loveliness of your exhale, the release, the lengthening of the back of your body, and then the rhythm. And as you know, the rhythm and the pattern of your in-breath, and that same pattern and rhythm of the movement of your body. And keeping of your eyes closed, the resting of your eyelids, allow the resting of your eyes, and the resting of your mind, the busyness of your thoughts. Take your attention just to you. And whatever movement with the cat and the cow feels right for your spine. So ensuring either very subtle movement or stillness, depending on how your back feels. Eventually, at the end of your next exhale, bring your spine back to horizontal. I want you to now tuck your toes under and take your sitting bones towards your heels. We're going to be going into a downward facing dog. So if you have your firm blocks, I want you to place your firm blocks underneath your hands. So it's going to give you a little bit more height and maybe even sliding your firm blocks a little bit closer. So we're going to go into a very short downward facing dog. So press your hands down, lift your knees up, and your hips continue to rise. Now, depending on your position, sometimes it's quite lovely having your heels against the wall. I don't want the soles of your feet to be vertical. I want that nice angle, maybe a 45-degree angle. So the back of your heels will rest onto the wall. Your heels won't be traveling right down towards the mat, so a little bit of support. If you have your hands on a firm block, gives a little less weight onto your wrists. And give your head a little hang and a little shake. So you can still have that gentle bending of your knees, depending on how the back of your legs feel as well as your back. And breathe. Lovely breath in. However you want to exhale, allow that complete release. Now I want you to walk your hands back towards your feet. So you'll be folded forward at the back of your mat. And I want your hands just to hang. You place your hands actually on the back of your calves. Still a gentle bending of your knees as need be. And then place your hands onto your thighs. Press your thighs back and bring yourselves into standing upright. Just a slow lifting and rising. Once you are into standing upright, I want you to back up. So your back will be towards the wall. I'm just going to go sideways so that you can see. So you're going to have your buttocks against the wall. Your heels will be just a little bit away, and we're going to bring ourselves into mountain pose, standing upright. So perhaps the back of your head can be on towards the wall. Direct your shoulder blades a little closer together so you're keeping the broadness across your collarbones, and close your eyes. So the connection of all four sides of your feet to your mat. A little bit of active energy through your thighs to bring yourselves in standing a little taller. Lift your shoulders towards your ears to give a little bit more lengthening through the torso. And then keep your spine long, standing tall, and your shoulder blades just gently slide down. eyes staying closed, and just a soft connection, the back of your head to the wall. Draw your left ear to your left shoulder, a little bit more lengthening through the right side of your neck. And again, a little fine adjustment, position of your chin, a little bit towards the pit of your arms, or horizontal. Shoulder blades are heavy and down. The side of your neck is extended without the collapsing of the left side of your neck. And then we'll change sides. So bring your head back up to center, and then this time gravity draw your right ear to your right shoulder. So opposite what you have done before. Perhaps the back of your hands will be on the wall or just slightly folded or hanging in front. Gently drawing your shoulder blades together and bottom tips again of your shoulder blades down. And enjoy the lengthening through the side of your body and the side of your neck. Draw your head back up to center. Just give your shoulders a little shake. I want you to take your feet just a little farther apart. Just a little bit more space. Arms down. Take your right fingers onto your shoulder and lift your elbow up. And then softly leaning over towards the left. So you have this lovely extension through the whole right side of your body. The option is you can keep your fingers onto your shoulder or place your hands onto the crown of your head, or maybe extending off to the side. So just encouraging the lengthening of the right side of your body, but without any strain. So finding that balance, perhaps it's better with your hand onto your head or fingers onto your shoulder. Slightly tuck your chin back to ensure your head isn't dropping forward, and enjoy the lengthening and leaning towards the left side. Whichever variation. And then let's change sides. So bring yourselves up to vertical, hands hanging down. Give your arms a little shake, and we'll change sides. So left fingers onto your left shoulder, lifting of your elbow up, and then leaning over towards the side. And then choosing the position. So your fingers might be happy onto your shoulder, perhaps hand onto your head, or maybe extending a little farther. So as we're extending and lengthening the left side of your body, ensure that there's no collapsing on the right side of your body. So it's more growing and lengthening, and then the soft leaning, whichever variation you choose of your arm. Then bring yourselves back up to center. Lower your arm down and give yourselves a little shake. So standing with your back to the wall, I'm going to go change direction. I want you to, keeping the softness of your knees, I want you to hinge yourselves forward and down. And this time, your hands onto your shins, and give your shins a little massage. As you know, all of the muscles we use on the front of our legs, front of our shins with each step that we take, each turn we make skiing, perhaps each pedaling of your hand onto your feet onto your bike pedal. From here, place your hands either on towards the mat, your knees staying gently bent, or onto your firm blocks, and walk yourselves forward into a plank pose. So in the plank pose, your heels will be off the mat. You stay into plank pose with legs up or knees down, depending what feels best. Knees are down, you can go on towards your knuckles. Whichever variation, full breath in. The softness of your exhale. And then, if not already, lower your knees down. From here, I want you to step your left foot forward into a lunge. So again, your hands can be onto the block, whichever prop you have. Maybe it's a firm block. And then looking forward to ensure that your front shin is vertical. Tuck your back toes under and perhaps taking your right knee a little bit farther back. And then place your hands onto your knee and press your knee down to bring yourselves into a lunge. So directing the space between your torso and your thigh, so it's growing through the front of your body, and bring your palms together. So in doing so, we're lengthening, of course, your hip flexor. So perhaps settling a little farther down. Just ensure that your front bent knee doesn't travel beyond your ankle. Lifting of your chest, maybe your gaze forward, maybe a little farther up. And as you're breathing deep, more lengthening the front of your torso. Ensure that your shoulder blades have drawn down. The front of your throat is long. Perhaps your eyes are closed or not. But continue with that lovely rhythm of your breath and the opening and freedom through the front of your hip flexor. Then let's change position. Place your hands down either on towards the mat, firm block, whatever support you have. And I want you to straighten your front leg. Now as you're straightening your front leg, peel the sole of your foot off the mat and your head to hang. So having whatever supports you have, whatever height that they are, and really directing the top of your left thigh bone into your hip socket. So your hips are neutral. Your front knee is extended. You can have a little bit of bending of your knees depending how long the back of your hamstrings are today. But I want your head to hang. So releasing any tightness and give your head a little shake, allowing the softness and growing at the back of your neck. But at all times, your shoulder blades back and the support below you to allow the ease of the upper spine, so the thoracic part of your spine. Releasing any tightness through your buttocks, and just the ease of the growing and lengthening of the back of your extended front leg. And sometimes if you're feeling a little strain, a little bit more bending of your knees, and just make sure the softness between your eyebrows stay relaxed. So sometimes the tightness grows between the eyebrows. Make sure the front of your face, the skin is smooth. And we'll change sides. So bend your front knee. So you can take your shin back. Little swaying of your hips. And then take your opposite leg forward. So again, forward, front shin is vertical. Having the position of your back leg. You have your hand firm blocks on its highest level. Actually, place your hands onto the shin. Or onto your knee. Press your knee down to bring yourselves up. And then as before, palms together at heart center. Now in doing so, ensure that there's no collapsing of your lower back. So taking your front of your torso to the back, and then a little settling. So sometimes even walking your front toes a little farther forward. But always ensuring that the magnet that tends to draw your torso towards your thigh, give yourselves that space. So it's the growing through your front, or your left hip flexor, growing through the whole front of your body, choosing the direction of your gaze, possession of your head, whatever it had been before. The breath is full, shoulders are soft, hip flexor is long. Let's change directions. So hands down, slowly straightening of your front leg, flexing of your foot, and the ease of just plugging the top of your extended front leg, the thigh bone, popping it into your hip socket, head to hang, shoulders soft. Little fine adjustments for yourself. to enjoy the extension and lengthening of the back of your hamstring, but without allowing any strain. So it's sort of that fine-tuning, listening to your body, adjustments as need be. How's your breath? Soft traveling of your breath in and out through your nose. You can listen to the harmony of in-breath to out-breath, allowing ease to ease through every cell of your body. I want you to travel from here into child's pose. So bring your leg back, toes together, knees apart, and then your sitting bones towards your heels, using your firm blocks, whichever support as need be. Slowly traveling back. And then just allow the front of your body, so your outer ribs will settle on your inner thighs, or at least directing that way. So ensuring that your knees aren't flared apart, just far enough apart that you have that space in your head to hang. Now into child's pose, I want you to walk your hands over towards the right. More so towards the front right corner of your mat, and then settling your left hand on top of your right. And your head can just rest onto your upper arm or just hanging down. And so the weight of your left hand just ensures the grounding, a little bit more space onto the left side of your body. And then let's change sides. So stroll your hands back onto your mat and then continue over, this time towards the left. And the final connection is your right hand. Allow your right hand to be heavy, settling on top of your left hand. Keep your breath flowing. And then walk your hands back on towards your mat. Bring yourselves back into table pose, hands on firm blocks or not. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees up. So you can be into a very short downward facing dog. Eventually we're all going to be walking our feet forward towards hands. So you can do that now or stay in downward facing dog a little bit longer. Just allow the ease. Downward dog, forward fold, head loose, shaken a bit. So if not already, walk your feet forward so that you're into the gently forward fold. Holding onto your opposite elbow, a bit of swaying. Encouraging the lengthening of the back of your legs, but still that subtle bending of your knees as need be. And then as you're ready, place your hands onto your hips and hinge yourselves to standing upright. And I want you to go into reverse. So you're backing towards the back of your mat so that the wall is directly behind the back of your body. I'm going to go sideways. So just as we had been before, the back of your body to the wall or door or whatever you have behind you. Hands hang by your side, eyes closed. As before, lift your shoulders up towards your ears, continue to lift into the crown of your head. And then keeping your spine long, the slow sliding of your shoulder blades back. So the inner edges of your shoulder blades slightly together, inner surface of your shoulder blades sliding down the back of your ribs, eyes closed. Just focusing on here and now, all four sides of your feet onto your mat, strength of your legs, bring your hips up, Slow growing vertebrae by vertebrae right to the crown of your head. Give your hands a little shake. Release any tightness through your shoulders. And then you can open your eyes. So standing at the back of your mat, I want you to draw your left knee in towards your chest. So the wall is behind you to give you that support and balance. And you can have your hands either behind the back of your thigh or hands over the front of your shin. So standing tall and enjoying the support of the wall behind. Have your bent knee, lifted foot flex. So it's like you're taking a big step onto a table or a chair. And then we'll change sides. So settling of your left foot down and lifting of your right knee up. So slightly draw your shoulder blades together just so you're keeping the broadness across your chest. And your hands can be behind the back of your thigh or the front of your shin. So the power of your standing leg, but also the strength through your support of your hands and your left or your right thigh. And then lower your leg down. Give yourselves a little shake. So we're going to go into warrior. We're going to warrior two. So take your legs apart. Okay. So you're still going to have the wall behind you, so your feet will be off your mat. Keeping your hands onto your hips, I want you to externally rotate your right leg. So turning of your toes towards the right, and a little bit of bending and flexing of your knee. So the wall is behind you to give you that support. Looking down to make sure your bented knee is directly towards your second toe. And then turn to face so that the whole back surface of your spine is on the wall. Take your right hand just to encourage that opening. And then arms grow out. Take your gaze just past your fingers towards your bent right knee. So sometimes what happens is the back arm travels forward. I want you to direct it back. Almost see if you can have your little fingers right against the wall. Shoulder blades together. Gaze forward, eyes closed. So the power of Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So both your front bent leg is activated. Your extended back leg is fired up. So you have that direct line from the outer edges of your back foot, traveling out the outer surface of your back leg. And change sides. So straighten your front leg. Hands can just hang by your side and change. So turning of your right toes forward and the external rotation of your left leg. A little bit of bending and straightening of your leg to the side and arms out. So again, your little fingers can be on towards the wall, taking your gazing just past your bent front knee, making sure your back leg stays fired up. Even having a little peek down to make sure your bent knee is not collapsing in. You got more weight on towards your little toe. Take your gaze just past your fingers, close your eyes. And the settling down for Warrior 2, the Virabhadrasana 2. It's actually, I'll turn palms up just to encourage more descending of your shoulder blades down towards the back of your hips. Warrior 2. Sanskrit name is Virabhadrasana 2. The warrior of power and yet stillness. Place your hands back onto your hips. Straighten your bent leg. And turn your toes towards the front. And then I want you to walk your feet together. So you're standing, as we had before, back to the wall. So we're going to go into tree pose. So your arms just out to the side, having the back of your hands onto the wall for support. Bend your left knee, your tippy toe on the wall, and open your knee towards the side for a Warrior 2. Now you have your buttocks against the wall for the support, but also your arms. Then I want you to place the sole of your bent knee onto your inner calf. Because you have the wall there, a little bit more opening of the hip flexor. And then your gaze forward. Just make sure that you're standing right leg. Your toes haven't traveled out towards the side. You're keeping them pointed towards the front. And then close your eyes. So it's that direction of the sole of your foot into your inner right calf. At the same time as your calf resisting. So you've got power of center. And move your bent knee back forward to the front of the mat. Lower it down. Give your arms a little shake, and we'll change sides. So planting all four sides of your left foot down onto your right tippy toe and open to the side. And before you even lift it up, smoothing out the surface of your bent knee. Arms back to the wall, taking the sole of your foot into your inner calf. Make sure that your shoulders are down. See if you can close your eyes. The wall is holding you there. It's giving you that balance. Now we'll change sides again. So lower your leg down, give a little shake. And we're going to go back to the first side that we did before. A couple of different options of how high up. So buttocks to the wall, give the support and the balance. Onto your left tippy toes, and open your knee to the side. A couple of options. You can again take the sole of your foot into your inner calf because the wall is there. If your knee bends quite happily, you can take with the assistance of your hand is the sole of your foot into your inner calf. So just a little awareness, either the sole of your foot into your inner calf or into your, inner thigh or inner calf. Often we'll put sole of our foot into our knee. Our knees don't bend to the side. So either heel below your knee or toes above. Arms out on an angle towards the side for the support. Ensuring that you have the center of the back of your skull onto the wall. So in doing so, see if you can shift your weight just slightly away from the wall. So you're working a little bit more balance from the sole of your foot. You can have your hands slightly away from the wall or your fingernails just touching the wall. Having a focal spot on something that's still on the floor in front of you, or whichever variation you choose. You choose whichever height the sole of your foot is on your leg, up or down. Back of your fingers can slightly touch the wall or floating away. Your buttocks just softly touching the wall or away. So this is always a challenge of balance. So it's that balance. Sometimes, as you know, even if you're close to the wall, you can almost touch it. Your balance is a little bit more there, or confidence. And then we'll change sides. So draw your knee forward, lower your leg down, give your body a little shake, and then we'll just change sides. So this time left foot is rooted down onto your right tippy toe, open to the side. Fingertips can be onto the wall for balance. And then choosing whatever height that your foot is onto. It could be into your inner thigh, inner calf. Chest is broad, fingers are on the wall. Focal spot is forward and down. And your fingers can stay softly touching the wall. Actually, it's all turned so the back of your nails are onto the wall. This just gives a little bit more broadening across your chest. And then you can still be touching the wall or just a little farther forward. The wall is there. If you start to wobble, you can just touch it again. Breath in. Let's actually have a sigh out. The tightness that sometimes comes when we're working on our balance, our attention is more on the balance and forgetting the fullness of the breath. Draw your knee back, the center, lower your leg down. Give yourselves a little shake. So we're going to go from here into child's pose. So softly lower your body right back down to your mat. And just take yourselves into child's pose just for 3 full breaths. So allow gravity to be drawing you down. Head hangs and settling. Draw a few full breaths into your back. So enjoying the space onto the back of your body. And then bring yourselves back up. So we're going to go exactly where we started the class, onto the wall. But onto the wall this time, lying onto your back, I want you to have your feet on the wall. So it's almost like you're sitting into a chair. Okay, so you have that horizontalness of your shins, verticalness of your thighs, and all 4 sides of your feet onto the wall. Arms out to the side. And then what I want you to do is walk your feet up the wall and have your heels on the wall so your feet will be flexed. We're going to go from here into thread the needle. So I want you to take your right ankle and place it in front of your left knee. And then from here, slowly bending of your left knee and sliding your right foot down the wall to take yourselves into thread the needle. Now, a couple of options. You can shuffle yourselves a little farther away from the wall or perhaps a little closer, depending on which position is of most comfort of thread the needle. Arms are going to stay hanging by your side, so it is a completely passive thread the needle. The only thing that's holding this position is the sole of your foot onto the wall. I always have the option of just checking to make sure your right knee hasn't collapsed in, so your fingers can encourage it towards the wall. Again, the movement of your hip, make sure that your hips are happy. So if this is just a little bit too much, you can take yourselves back into Buddha Konasana, which is soles of your feet together, your knees apart, if your hips aren't happy. Or whichever bending of the knee for thread the needle. Of course, your eyes are closed, back of your head onto the floor, allowing your eyes to sink a little deeper. And take yourselves back into that slow rhythm of your breath. You want your exhale to be a sigh. And with the sigh, just notice how the tightness of those muscles through the back of your hip, your external part of your hip, outer back of your thighs, completely relax. Listen to your breath. Ensure it's the rhythm and the slowness. Ensure that you're staying onto your mat with your mind. So often in the stillness of a pose with no movement, our thoughts start to travel away, so draw them back in. Your attention is to ease, listening and directing of your breath, and releasing any hidden tightness. Ensuring you have the pattern of equal level of in-breath to out-breath. Your breath is slow. I want you to stay in this position for 5 more in-breaths and of course 5 more out-breaths. Slow and gentle, staying into this pose. Once you have finally released your 5th exhale, you won't be there yet, but once you're there, I'll get you to place both of your feet onto the wall for some windshield wiping. So whenever you're there, whenever you have both of your feet on the wall, that very slow movement of knees to the right, towards your left. And then we'll be changing sides. So again, wherever you are in the pattern, eventually as your legs are up, heels on towards the wall, then the connection of your left ankle onto your right knee and the slow sliding of your right foot down the wall. And one side might be a little bit tighter than the other, so perhaps you need to be a little bit farther away from the wall, or if this hip's a little bit looser, a little bit closer. Or again, if knees aren't as happy, you can take yourselves into whichever variation of thread the needle or butterfly Uttanasana is. So find that lovely spot where there's the opening, but ensuring that there's no strain. So of course, awareness of the tightness of the muscles, and whichever pose you're at, encouraging the opening without the force, and enjoying that the wall is holding you into this pose. And ensuring once into this pose, that whole back surface of your shoulder blades are settled onto your mat, the whole length of your spine, the back of your hips, and the resting of the whole length of the back of your arms, the back of your hand, and the softness of the palms of your hands. So you're not holding on to anything other than air. Stillness of your body, stillness of your mind, but the traveling of your breath. So as before, slowness and harmony of 5 in-breaths to 5 out-breaths. And then again, once you have completed those 5 breaths, place your feet back onto the wall with the movement of your knees. And then what I want you to do is travel away from the wall. So I always say it's a little worm movement, so that your feet will be onto the wall, your legs will be extended, and you'll be laying the whole length of the wall. So you'll be wiggling back so that your head will be to the front of the mat and your feet on the wall at the back of the mat. And settling down onto this pose. So into this pose, what I'm going to get you to do is draw your right knee into your chest and keeping of your knee bent. So I didn't say this before, but if you have a firm block or a pillow, to have it onto the right side. You're going to be opening your knee towards the right. So when you open your knee towards the right, I want you to have whatever support that you have over towards the right. So stay laying onto your back, of course. Your right knee is in towards your chest. I want you to open your knee towards the right. So there's this whichever support for your leg. So now if you don't have the support, you can always keep your right foot onto the floor, but still keeping that 90-degree angle of your knee. Give ourselves just a little bit deeper opening through the hip. But it has to be completely passive. So whatever is underneath your, either your right foot or your right leg, so that there's no strain, it's just the enjoyment of the passive opening. And your arms can just rest by your side. Ensuring that you have that whole back of your hips are settled onto the mat. Ensuring that both buttocks on right and left side are passive. Allow your body to be heavy. So your whole upper back of your body is onto your mat. Even having that passiveness of your extended left leg. So that passiveness can go from your extended leg and feed right through to the passiveness of your bent, extended left leg to the right. Keep your knee bent as need be. I always say imagine that there's a warm blanket basically draped over your bent open knee. And so the weight of the blanket is like a soft gravity, but warmth, so your leg, your body stays at ease. Now with the support of your hand, I want you to draw your knee back into center and draw both of your knees into your chest. And whatever movement, maybe circular movements, forward, back, side to side, just putting the juice back into your hip joint. And then let's change sides. So lowering the whole back of your right leg down, left knee bent, and then opening your knee towards the left. Again, whichever support, a block, a pillow, or the outer edges of your left foot. So you have that opening and support. Even your hands onto your hip flexor, a little bit of massage. And then arms passive. Back of your skull, whole length, the back of your spine. Your eyelids are heavy, your eyes sink deep, and the stillness of your mind allows a little bit more stillness of your thoughts. Still eyes, still mind. When it feels balanced, opening of your left leg as to your right, and then you can draw your knees into your chest. Again, when you're ready, you can stay however long you want. Once your knees are towards your chest, the assistance of your hands to put the juice back into the joints, equally right to left. From here, I want you to place your feet on the outer edges of your mat and slowly rock your knees towards the right and towards the left. So keeping your feet, the outer edges of your feet, on the outer edges of your mat allows a little bit more ease of the both internal and external rotation of your hips, but really slowly. It gives you an opportunity to observe how it feels, where the tightness is, where you need a little bit more movement. And have your arms now rest by your side, either either on an angle, 45, maybe all the way out to the side. And then as you're ready, your knees will drift over to the right and stay towards the right. So with here, you can have any support need be on your outer right thigh, whichever variation. You can have support underneath your right thigh. Maybe if they're quite open, the settling of your right ankle onto your left knee. It's quite deep, so ensure that this is a passive pose and not feeling the strain, and ensuring the whole back of your shoulder blades are onto your mat. An option here is to turn your face towards the left. Now, if you choose to turn your face towards the left, ensure that your chin isn't drawn towards your chest bone. I want you to have that equal length, all four sides of your neck. So find whichever variation is best for you. It's quite a deep twist, so make sure you have the support as need be. In your body, this pose can stay a little longer, or if it feels right, you can draw your knees back and take yourselves back again into the windshield wiping. And again, your practice, your body, whenever it feels right, you can allow gravity to draw your knees towards the left. Whichever variation of the prop in terms of support, whichever variation of the position of your legs, both settle towards the left. And again, which direction you've turned your face, making sure that your neck stays long and at ease. Enjoying stillness. And wherever you're ready, you can bring yourselves back to movement. Right and left. You can get yourselves ready for a Shavasana. So I'm going to give you guys lots of options. You can take your legs back to the wall, but if it felt right, you can keep your feet at the wall, not vertical, but at an angle. And if you do so, it's lovely sometimes to drape the blanket. You also have the option of sliding away from the wall. So you're laying the whole length. So I'm going to say you're already the whole length. So you have the option of wiggling yourself towards the wall, or Shavasana, and the whole length of your body, onto your mat, with your feet a little bit farther apart. If you have a pillow with you and you're lying the whole length of the mat, you can place the pillow underneath the back of your knees, whichever variation allows that settling. If you have a blanket, whichever position you're at, have the blanket almost like a cape draped over your body. And then as you're ready, just settle yourself right back down onto the floor, legs up the wall or not, arms resting by your side, a little, not towards your inner thighs, a little bit farther away. Your inner thighs are a little farther away. Your arms are a little farther away from your outer thighs. And your eyes softly closed. And our breath, just as we had started, a complete full breath in, breathing into all four sides of your waist, breathing into every cell of your body, a little bit of pause, and a complete sigh on your exhale. Do that as many times as you want. And really just allowing the soft pattern of your breath, complete resting of the whole length of your body, front and back, and bringing your eyes into complete stillness. And so as your cheekbones are strong, allow your cheeks to be at ease and soft. Stillness of your eyes and the softness across the surface of your face. Allow yourself to disappear into space. Staying in the stillness of your body. I invite you to stay in Shavasana as long as you want. Whenever you choose to end Shavasana, as you know, you roll over to your right, hug your knees to your chest, and bring yourself to sitting upright. But I want you to stay in Shavasana as long as you want. I'm going to simply disappear. So thank you so much for joining this class. Big breath in, complete breath out. Your body, your practice.